The average American gains 2 pounds a year.
That's kind of scary.
The blood pressure was up, the weight was up, the blood sugar was up.
You may only be overweight, but if you don't do something about it, the chances are you'll end up being obese.
I've been on every single diet there is.
I just shot up to 350 fast, and I don't know how it happened.
Your doctor should be the first person you go to get help with your weight.
Patients have had more energy. We've been able to see that their sugars have been so low that we've now been able to take many of these people off their medications.
I lost 27 pounds, and all of it being fat.
My medical status is much improved. My cholesterol went from, I think it was around 220 to 131.
I was on vacation for 10 days and I've still lost that 18 pounds.
We're going to hear a little bit more right now about what happens when a patient and doctor team up. Everything changes. The struggle and frustration with weight touches nearly everyone's lives, whether you're fighting with 5 pounds or 100 pounds. Hi, I'm Beth Ruyak. The reason your doctor has given you this message right now is because your doctor cares about you, cares about your health, cares about helping you find a solution to make you look good and feel good, and in both instances, better than you feel today. Americans right now are gaining an average of 2 pounds a year, so do the math. And then add in the emotional consequences and the physical health problems that come along with that, and you get a picture of the epidemic. I'm excited today to introduce you to two experts who are going to help us see this in a new way and give us some new perspective, also some solutions in an approach that hasn't ever been seen or talked about before. So with us are Dr. Tom Hopkins. Dr. Tom Hopkins is a primary care doctor and a weight management specialist. He's the co-medical director of a bariatric program at a major Northern California hospital and the chief medical correspondent for a network news station in Sacramento. Great to have you with us.
Great to be here, Beth.
Also here, Dr. Jonathan Berg, a pain specialist and a primary care physician. He helps doctors implement a program called Cornerstone Wellness that helps the doctors help the patients. And hundreds of doctors from all over the country have invited Dr. Berg to their clinics. And Dr. Berg shows them how to help patients with this exact struggle we're talking about and also to improve communication with their patients. Great to have you as well.
Thank you, Beth.
Dr. Berg, can you scan the picture of what you see across the country in terms of how patients are struggling?
I see patients all over, south, east, southeast, northwest, and so forth. What I'm finding is that patients aren't getting proper information. They don't know how to take care of the problem they have. Physicians want to help, but there's simply no time for physicians to do that in the space of a visit, of a typically 15-minute, 20-minute visit with a primary care physician. And the other thing that's interesting to me is it's not necessarily just obesity. Patients that had never been overweight before are now finding that they're overweight. So it's affecting everybody, men, women, children, older people. Everybody is sort of reeling from this epidemic. It's global.
Patients are really saying they're frustrated. I mean, I think patients have put a lot of time and money into losing weight, and weight loss has really been in the realm of outside of the doctor's office.
Dieting isn't working, doesn't work, does it?
Patients have really based their attempts at losing weight, time and time again, they base it on past failures. So we built a lot of patients who are trying to lose weight, they struggle with weight loss, they have tried and tried and have been on diet after diet and they failed. They almost are in a kind of a failure mode. Some people live and die by the scale. I mean, they can be doing well with their lifestyle changes, get on the scale, and all of a sudden, emotionally, mentally, they come crashing down because they didn't get the results that they thought. The key thing is to focus on what are the health implications of what you weigh? The health implications of what you weigh relate to your fat mass. They also relate to your lack of fitness if you're not doing what you need to do. So we really have to focus on giving patients the tools to understand it's not about what you weigh, it's about the fat that you have on your body and the implications of that, because the fat mass is the things that leads to diabetes, heart disease, and high blood cholesterol.
So Dr. Berg, let's talk for a moment about skinny fat or skinny overweight and just address that phenomenon.
We're finding that there's this concept of what we call normal weight obesity, which sounds like a bizarre term. Yeah. It's people that are normal weighted, okay, or normal BMI'd, but they have excess body fat. The other term for it is skinny fat, or TOFI, which is thin outside, fat inside, T-O-F-I, TOFI. And what it is people who have dieted a lot, particularly women, who've dieted a lot and have gone on very low-calorie diets, then gone back to eating back and forth. And what they've managed to do is lose muscle, and even though they may be a size 2 or a size 4, 120 pounds, they still have excess body fat. So their health risk is just as much as somebody who has the same percentage of body fat that might be 300 pounds. Remember, it's like Tom says, it's the body fat that's causing the problem. That's what's causing all the inflammation in the body. Body fat cells release inflammatory substances. That's what causes heart disease. The weight has nothing to do with it. The weight only affects your knees, just your weight-bearing joints. Everything else related to being overweight is due to overfat. And that's the correct term, overfat, not overweight.
If you fought with 5 pounds, if you're obese and you're fighting with 100 pounds, if you're skinny but unhealthy inside because you're skinny fat, all of what's in this message is for you.
The fat that's around your abdomen, that's around the liver, is the fat that is causing the problem. So when you have patients understand, it's important to eat right and exercise routinely to decrease that fat mass, especially in those areas where it's risky.
How well do doctors know how to talk to patients about this?
A lot of times patients have difficulty bringing up the subject and doctors communicating that subject because of the blame issue that's been attached to it. When physicians recognize that obesity as a chronic disease, treating it like diabetes or any other disease, it levels the playing field. It really makes the conversation much more comfortable, and that's what we need to do.
Well, doctors, we've heard your perspective. Now we're going to hear from some healthcare consumers about what they need to be successful and whether their needs are being met.
I was on a few different weight loss programs throughout my life, and I never really understood what to eat and how much to eat.
I've been on every single diet there is. I can't follow those kinds of diets. I can't stay with them. Plus, the portions are so small, and I don't think I was getting the protein. Again, I don't know what it is, but they were so small. I was starved. I was just always hungry.
I just shot up to 350 fast, and I don't know how it happened. I was on a nonstop gain weight pattern.
We were very concerned about Christopher's health. He had high blood pressure. There was just so many things that were starting to add up. The future was not looking very well for Christopher.
I was what they call borderline diabetic. I was 307 pounds. The blood pressure was up, the weight was up, the blood sugar was up. My primary care physician recommended that I see another doctor about a candidate for a gastric bypass or a lap band surgery. Since my insurance would not pay for part of it, I would be into about a $12,000 operation for the lap band.
I had tried many other programs. I was semi-active, so I did have a walking regime that I was following, but I had tried, you can name them, I've tried them. And I spent countless dollars on addressing that issue, and I was not capturing any success with them.
Wow, talk about frustration. So let's talk about a solution instead. And I am not referring to a new diet or a new gadget. Dr. Hopkins, you've looked into all of those and you said no to all of them.
I have. I've looked at a lot of different products, but now this is a product that enables the doctor and the patient to work together with weight loss and improving their health. So it is a tool that both the doctor and the patient can use to make great changes and help them lose weight.
The program is called Cornerstone Wellness. So what first sparked that Cornerstone concept?
My goal became to develop a program, a simple program for physicians to use on their own patients that tracks fat, not just weight, but actual body fat, maintenance of lean body mass, gives patients enough protein to keep their muscle, gives them more nutrition, because most overweight people and obese people are actually malnourished. You know, mal means bad. They're badly nourished because of the diet we eat in this country. So to improve people's nutrition and thereby get all these diseases that are associated with overweight and obesity under control. True prevention is what we're talking about.
Dr. Berg, you say this is highly individualized and a turnkey process, but in a generic sense, will you walk me through exactly how it works?
Well, if the patient's concerned about their weight loss needs, they simply ask the doctor to be tested. It'd be as simple as, doctor, I'd like to know how much body fat I have. And then the patient gets tested And then if it's above a certain amount, or if the patient isn't happy with what their body fat level is, they would make an appointment to go see the wellness coach. You'd sit down for anywhere between a 30 and 40-minute visit where people would go, the wellness coach would go through your current dietary history, basically educating you on the most cutting-edge, up-to-date, scientifically based nutritional concepts that have proven to be effective, and then they'll introduce you to the technology.
And it sounds like there's a lot of education along the way.
Absolutely.
You mentioned technology. Now, I understand this is an optional part of the program, but it's pretty cool and it's fun to use, right?
Right.
And patients seem to like it. Talk about it.
Well, there's two further components after the body composition test. There is a very, just cool is the best way to phrase it, website that actually interacts with your particular readings off the body composition testing machine that actually plugs into the computer. And this allows you at home to continue the work that you started in the doctor's office. For example, there's an extensive meal planning program where you can actually plan your meals, and it will set it to whatever your particular metabolic rate is. You, the patient, you specifically that were tested in the office, how many calories you should be getting based on you. It's completely customized, completely integrated to your situation. There's even some exercise programs on there where you can actually just click on a part of the body that you want to strengthen or look better, and it'll give you a list of exercises and even photographs to how to do the exercise, most of which you can do at home. There is a what we call calorie mapping function where you put your zip code in and it'll show your house, from a satellite picture, and you just click along a path that you want to walk. You go out and walk it, figure out how long it takes you to time yourself, put the number in, and it tells you exactly how many calories you specifically burn based on your body weight, your body fat, and so forth. So it's just a lot of fun things to do, which make exercise not drudgery. It's fun now. It's exciting. Meal planning is so important because you just don't want to, as you're trying to lose body fat, you need to plan ahead what you're going to be putting in your mouth. It's that simple.
The website reminded me of online banking, where you get to track every penny, you get to track where everything moves, and if you're into that, and even if you're just a beginner online, I found it very fun, the interactive
Online
part of
banking
it.
just scares me.
It does, but you got the calories down,
That's right. I
right?
got my calories down.
The FDA-approved tracker, the calorie tracker.
The FDA-cleared calorie tracker, it's been studied in the Department of Defense on soldiers, the Navy SEALs and so forth. And basically what it does, you wear it like a beeper, and it measures acceleration going forward and backward in any direction. It's not a pedometer, which just measures steps. This actually measures how many calories you burn at rest, plus whatever else you're doing throughout the day. So it's not like you have to go to a gym or just pay all that money to go to a gym. You can just, do anything. You could park further away from the Walmart. You could take the stairs instead of the elevator. All these things add up through the day, but at the end of the day, all that counts is how many calories you burned in the day. Right? Whether you did it at a gym or whether you did it just walking around the block. So this will keep track for you, and the nice thing is, or maybe the not so nice thing is, your doctor is going to see it.
Yeah.
So you're now accountable to your physician and your wellness coach for how many calories you burned in the day. So if you're not losing weight, he can say, well, that's because you're not exercising, my friend.
Well, and it helps with the dialogue. You have to have something to talk about, so now you've got these specific details.
And you have data. You have data, because a lot of us are not aware of what we're actually doing.
We've all grown up with those phrases, eat your vegetables, get your exercise, but it's really helpful to have a roadmap of specifics for exactly what we're supposed to do to run these bodies of ours correctly. So I turn to Dr. Tom Hopkins and say, from a very basic level, what do our bodies need?
In the treatment of weight management and obesity, it's not simply about just reduction of calories like we think about it. And I look at it and I tell my patient, I said, it's really, we want you to have a lower caloric intake, but we want to maximize your nutrition, and supplements help you do that.
For a long time, we didn't know why people were getting heavy, why they were having so much trouble losing weight, and why people were yo-yoing or cycling. 95% of diets fail. Within 3 years,